Love is simply one word. It's unspoken. The foundation of life. What is this all about? There is no greater narcotic on this planet. You can line them all up and it won't come close to the dopamine hit that you get from love. Because love don't even have to touch you to make you feel some kind of way special. Well, guess what? He ain't gonna love you. And she ain't gonna love you. So what? Do you realize there's over 4 billion ladies on this planet? Do you realize that there's over 4 billion men on this planet? So you mean to tell me the only thing that this universe ever had to give you was the knucklehead that don't appreciate you? I don't think so. I don't think so. You better get that appetizer off the table. Don't wait for the waitress to come and clear the table. Just slide it off the table and get ready to receive that main course in your life that this universe has for you. See, sometimes we go through those things in life so that when the main course shows up, we appreciate it. You know, the universe loves you so much that if the main course showed up and you lost it, how much more would that hurt? See, so we go through these things so that when the main course shows up, we can appreciate it. We can hold on to it. We can nurture it, protect it, and not take it for granted, not anger it. How dare some of you have the woman of your dreams, the man of your dreams? Universe gives you a gift and you start taking it for granted. You're not taking that other person for granted, you're taking yourself for granted. You're not lying to that other person, you're lying to yourself. You're not cheating on that other person, you're cheating on yourself to lose them. You better behave yourself before you wreck yourself, is what they say. Huh. Well, you've tuned into the right place, and that is The Art of Love with Dr. O, and I'm yours truly, Dr. O. Okay, you've asked for it, and it's back. Let's talk about it. Remember, if you're not communicating your relationship, we didn't say let's yell about it. We said let's talk about it. If you're not communicating, that's not love. Yelling isn't love. When you love someone, you allow them to make their point, you make your point, and any negativism, you do away with it, and you get back to love. So we're going to go ahead and slide into this segment of Let's Talk About It. This energy that you ladies represent, that you're putting out, there's so many other ladies out there that need that. Absolutely. You know, and I want you to know that there's a significant amount of ladies that, because the people that actually govern and run things, they know who you are. They know the strength of you. So they take you and do the things that they need, how society to run. See, I'm going to tell you something. Of course, we don't need anybody. But it does feel good to have the right person.
It does.
It does feel good to have the right person. And that's why it's important to get that junk off the table, that appetizer, so you can receive the main course. You know, one of the tests that I do is I put a penny in my client's hand, and I tell them, squeeze it tight, hold it tight, make sure I can't get it. And then I tell them, now, take this diamond out my ear. I said, see, long as you hold on to a funky penny, you can't receive what the universe has to give you. See, you can be catering to somebody that you know lying to you. You know he ain't no good. You just going through the motions, and you go out to eat, and your soulmate could be the waiter. See?
Yeah, so I'm staying single for a while so I can.
Yeah. Not only stay single, but let it marinate.
Oh, it's marinated.
Let it marinate. Because what's your name?
Jane.
Jane. I'm
Dope.
Art. See,
Yeah.
my name is Art. See, and you can ask me my name, and I can ask you your name because we know our name.
Yeah.
See, same thing with love. I think that should be a prerequisite to see if you want to go that further in the relationship. Is when you meet somebody, how you loving yourself? Why you ask me that? Because the vibe is good now, and that might come out your mouth, and
Right.
I need to make sure that you ain't playing with it. Because I'm not playing with it. I'm at a point in my life, I don't want to play with
Yeah,
it.
Right.
Don't pull that trigger, you ain't going to use it.
Yeah, like for real.
Not playing no game.
That is true.
Yeah, so let that be a prerequisite. How you loving yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, how you loving yourself? And like I said, ladies, that little card that you always give everybody else for holidays, make that a promise to yourself that from this day forward, nobody can lie to you. I told you, there's only one you. Ain't a female on this earth capable of being greater than you being you. Now, if you act outside of that, there's competition all day long. But if you just be you,
Unstoppable.
nobody can compete with that. Nobody can compete with that. Tell me something. And I don't want to go into details, but how did you know that this was the moment for you to start loving you? And I'm going to get to y'all too, so you better get it ready.
Well, for me, I have always suffered with depression, and I feel like there's a lot of triggers that go in hand when you have those episodes or those moments. So I just dialed in, and like personally, I love being alone, and I feel like everyone should know how to be alone before being with someone else, So I just got really heavy into self-care, honestly, and then that's self-love. So, and then I was like, I don't have to argue with nobody. I don't have to deal with anything. Like, I just love loving myself. And if you make me feel less than anything, then it doesn't, something's off,
And see, so when you want to come out of your shell of love and you open up the door and there's somebody standing there,
yeah, you can't.
how you loving yourself?
Yeah.
What's that mean? Close the door. Because he ain't gonna waste your time.
And you know what? My homegirl, one of my friends had told me, she's like, just because everybody knocks doesn't mean everyone has to come in. So you think of it like a store. You got a store, one person might not buy, but if you close the whole store thinking they're going to buy and they're like, oh, actually, I'll be back. You just lost out on
Right.
Yeah.
The older you get, one of your best friends is gonna be those two letters. No. And stand on it.
Yeah.
And mean it. I've never it doesn't make me a better person, doesn't make me better than nobody else.
Yeah.
But if you guys had my mother as a mother, as my cousin would testify, then you too would be like me. I've never drank, I never smoked, I never done any drugs. And I love my mother for being the queen that she was. My sister came home one day and she just went to a get together, but the smell of weed was in her clothes. To this day, I still haven't seen no one get beat like that. You guys ever seen Terminator where they went through the walls? She put my sister's head through the wall and then yanked it out.
Okay.
The drywall.
All right.
And she mauled her. And she used to pistol whip a relative. So the fist ain't no slap. It's closed fist. Break my father's Mercedes, burnt his tire, knotted down. Dog chased me home from school, shot him.
Okay.
Oh.
She's really about that action.
A woman told my mother to go down on her. My mother killed that woman.
Really?
So when my mother said something, whenever the cops came, they came to take her. My father's still at home.
You already know who they. I'm coming out.
So when my mother said something, she meant it. Yeah. And after she finished with my sister, and me and my brother was stuck like deers in headlights, she said, "Both of y'all come here." And she went and got her gun. She said, "If you think for 1 second that you're gonna drink, smoke, and do any drugs and embarrass my name, there's only one pimp, one gangster, one hustler you ever gonna know.
Yeah.
And you're looking at him. I brought you in this world, and this time I'm gonna get you out. I'm your alpha, and I will be your omega." So, my mother was one of the few women that Crip Mama in Pomona had respect for because she was about that. But my mother was the definition of a gangster.
Yeah.
No nonsense. But I have yet to meet somebody that loved more than her. She fed the kids on the street. Jerry Brown, yes. She loved hard. and she had an open heart. And, I have her heart. And so I'm addicted to giving.
Yep, me too.
I'm addicted to giving. If I go to the gas station and I see somebody counting change, see, it's like I told you earlier, the trials and tribulations of life is for you to be able to understand,
Yeah.
to be able to mentor and nourish those that get through. So how would I know what this means standing at the register if I wasn't standing at the register with my hands full of change to put some gas on my pump?
Yeah.
So when I see it, I slide 20. I don't even say nothing. If you got to do something and you need a clap for it, don't do it.
Exactly.
Nobody should
That's
know.
right.
But sometimes they catch me because I'm pumping my gas, and the first thing they do when it goes past the change, they look back at the register and say, do they know it's still running? And then sometimes I'm like, ooh, wait, because the joy it's a narcotic that's more powerful than anything. It's giving, and it overwhelms me. And sometimes they see the joy they give me, they be like, did you do that? I said, yeah. Hey man, just know that there is something greater than us that loves us. People say that they're atheists, and it's okay if that's what you feel, but at the same time, you're saying that you don't exist because it took two human beings to make you. In order for you to exist, it takes something greater than you to create you. A car, it takes a mountain, ore, iron, all this stuff to create. It takes something greater. So just the mere fact that we exist says that there is something greater than us that we came from. See? So, I asked you, what was your definition of love, and you?
Light.
Light, and you?
I said communication.
And you?
Energy.
Energy. My definition of love is one word. And man, you got to go through a lot to understand what this one word means. And when I drop it on you, you're going to be like, that part.
Right. We ready.
You ready for it?
Yes.
Okay. Unspoken. Don't talk to me. Show me.
Yes.
Shh. Hush. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it. Show me.
Right.
Show me. Just show me.
Actions speak louder than
Your mother didn't run her mouth about wiping your butt 5,000 times.
Right.
She showed you.
Yeah.
You know how to tie your shoe because she showed you.
Yes.
And she don't walk around telling the world, it took me about 5,300 and... No. She just did it. She just did it.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Truth is the strongest foundation that you can manifest in a relationship to weather the storm that may present itself in the future to your relationship. If you are honest with yourself about who you are, and your significant other is honest with themselves, and you guys are not playing elementary games of, you can't have my passcode. You can help me pay this mortgage. You can help me pay my car note. You can come visit me when I'm in the hospital, but you can't have the passcode to my phone. Truth will allow no space or room for lies or darkness. You bring it to the light, see? And when you do that, then you're giving yourself a strong foundation to stand on, to walk into the future until death or the transition of life do you part. You have to ask yourself, what do you want? Because honestly, if we're honest with ourselves, down to the nano level of passion, intimacy, it's just a reproductive organ that we manipulated for pleasure. Yeah, see, something greater than us had to make sure that that pleasure was so sweet, that dopamine hit was so sweet that life would exist on this planet. And humans took that and manipulated it for pleasure. And they put other names on it, passion and all this other stuff. But it's a reproductive organ. And when you establish things in your relationship beyond the reproductive organ, wow, now you're working with something. See what your relationship have when you take that out of it. You know, how many people have it in their relationship that if all was lost and you didn't have anything but that person that made that commitment to you until death do you part or the transition of life, how many people do you believe right now? Think about your relationship. And some of you are looking at this video right now as a couple, and you're saying, yeah, we love each other. But unfortunately, if one of you was inside of a wheelchair, how long would the other one stick around to take care of you? See, it's easy to be in love when life is good, but that park bench and that newspaper, you gonna get it with me? You gonna share that newspaper with me? Or the first guy that walked by with a bus pass, you gonna hop on the bus with him? You gonna leave me? You gonna leave me, Anime? uh, I try to put a little humor in some things because sometimes you need it, but ultimately, the most valuable tools that you can have for loving someone else, for sharing intimacy and passion of a reproductive organ, um, is you being honest with yourself and realizing that someone else's truth isn't necessarily your truth. One must find one's own truth. And ultimately, you have to remember they say the truth shall set you free. But there's one thing that they left out of that, and that is the only truth that will truly set you free is the truth that one gives oneself. That is the truth that will set you free. Not someone else's truth, but the truth that you give yourself is the truth that will ultimately set you free. If you lie to yourself, you're not lying to no one else but yourself. And in the end, that lie will manifest itself, grow, and choke you the hell out. So it's better to start with truth with yourself. Stay honest with yourself. Don't waste someone else's time. You know, some men and some ladies, they have their own apartment, you know, their own situation going on, and they have people that exist in their lives that they share intimacy, passion, and commitment with. But they left one thing out, and that is there's 5 individuals fulfilling that. One of them pay the car note, one of them pay the utilities, one of them split the mortgage or the rent, and neither one of them know about each other. So is that really passion? Is that really commitment? Hmm? Is that really intimacy? If you want to enjoy the full pleasure of love, it starts with you being honest with yourself. And then if the universe bless you with someone that can do the same thing for themselves, wow, you're starting with the best thing that you can start with. And that is truth. 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 So I say this to you. You remember how good it felt when you was young? that first person you fell in love with. You know why it felt good? Because you wasn't lying to yourself about how you felt. You didn't care about the holes in their shoes or socks or clothes. You didn't care about the car, the house, the money. You really loved them for them being them. You know, there's a song that Michael Jackson has. Troop did an excellent remake of it. And there's a verse in it. It's I can't wait to get to school each day. To what is it? There's a verse in it that I love, and it's I begin to take the long way home, just so he can think about the pleasures of the thoughts of that other person. You know how sweet that is? That here it is, there's an 8 line home, but you're gonna take the long way home because the joy and the dopamine that you're getting from the honesty that you're giving yourself about how you feel about this person. If we can get back to that, if we can get back to that, it'll be the sweetest thing. And you have beautiful examples in life that money. Look at all the relationships in Hollywood and around the world. These people are loaded to the gills, can buy you helicopters, jets, mansions, exotic cars, and islands, and they still get divorces. So, all those things I just named, take that out of the picture when it comes to you understanding and loving someone else. And the sweetest pleasure that you ever felt when you was a child, that first love, it was you being honest with yourself. So, my love angels, I say this to you. The best way to love, to share love, and to give love is for you to be honest with you and understanding that someone else's truth isn't your truth, but the truth that you give yourself is the truth that will ultimately set you free. And until next time, you make sure that loving you is a priority thing for you to do. Welcome to the Art of Love with Dr. O, and I'm yours truly, Dr. O. My love angels out there in love land, how y'all doing? How the world treating you? Remember, don't chase after this world because it'll keep on spinning on you. All you have to do is just do you, and this entire universe will come to you. Remember that. Remember that. You know, another thing I need to throw in there, always remember, love don't reach for your pockets. It reach for the heart. Say that with me. Love don't reach for your pockets. Love reaches for your heart. For the last time, love don't reach for your pockets. Love reaches for the heart. We have some questions today on Ask Dr. O that I'm going to get into here. Dr. O, is love enough? Is love enough? Because you can love someone but hate the things about them or the things they do. Again, is love enough? And this is coming from Christopher from Texas. What you doing out there in Houston, Christopher? Is love enough? Who's that special somebody in your life that you asking this question, Chris? Who's that special somebody? Is love enough? You know, often enough we get into relationships and that energy, that magnetism that brought us together, it's so blinding that we don't see the other things that come along with it that might not be as nice or pleasing or soothing as the things that energy that brought you together. You know, some people, after they move in with someone, they realize that wow, man, this cat snores, or she snores real loud, or there's certain things that an individual might do that might not be as pleasing to you as that magnetism that got you together. And that goes back into one of the things I used to say about back in the days when we had courtship. See, the elders oversaw the courting, and they knew the individuals better than the individuals knew themselves, and knew whether or not if it was a good mate, a good match. But nowadays, all it's gone. It's all gone. And you have to put it on the scale. You have to put it on a scale. You know, it's different if you met somebody in church and you guys are going to church every week and everything's all beautiful, and then all of a sudden they want to start doing drugs and join a cult. Okay, now that's something that's dramatic that you can say, you know, she didn't present or he didn't present these issues in the beginning of the relationship. It just popped up out of nowhere, and I love him or her, but these are just some things that I don't know. It's a deal breaker, you know. And these are the things that you work out when you meet someone. You ask these questions to see if it's worth you taking another step further with this individual before you get so wrapped up into emotions and feelings to where if you sever it, it hurts. See, if you iron out this in the beginning, and that starts with truth, that starts with you being honest with yourself, because a lot of people, they meet people and there's stop signs on people's foreheads, and people think the stop sign is just going to go away. No, whenever you come to that corner, it's going to be there for you. And ultimately, whoever is standing at the altar is ultimately who they're going to be. You want to kind of, you know, reach high so that if there's a fall off, you're still kind of where you want to be at. So, you know, is love enough? You know, you have to ask yourself, is it love? You know, because when I was a kid, there was a young lady that I admired, and I didn't see the holes in her shoes, the holes in her jeans, or it was just based on the energy, the vibe of the individual. And I think that if we get back to the sandbox love, you know, of understanding who that person really is that you're courting, then it'll make things a lot easier. You know, you have to just scale it, you know, ask yourself, the things that I don't like, do they outweigh the things that I do like? You know? And if they do, then you have to ask yourself some questions. But if they don't, you know, no relationship is perfect. Don't run from something that's a blessing. You just have to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself and say, first and foremost, you know, if you're a love angel, if you're not a love angel, then remember, in order to become a love angel, you have to apologize to yourself. You got to look in the mirror, apologize to yourself. So if you haven't done that, you can start there and be honest with yourself about this person that you say you love. Is love enough? Well, it all starts with you. I got another question here. Let's see here. Who am I dealing with here? That would be I love my man. And why is there always a but? You know, you see on these talk shows, you know, I love you. You know, we've been through a lot and we've done a lot of things together. But I love my man, but he does some stalker things like wait outside my house till I get home. I really think he's the one. Should I marry him or run? Stalker things. Stalker things, you know. Why would you kiss a stalker? Why would you invite a stalker in your house? Why would you spend a night and then the holiest of holies, the Holy Grail, why would you be intimate with a stalker? Now, maybe, I'm sorry, Sheila from San Diego, maybe it's not stalker things. Maybe it's he's not the only person coming over your house, and that's a little bit inconvenience for him to be hanging out when you have somebody coming over to help you pay half your rent, and there's another guy coming to pay the other half, and another guy coming to pay the car note, and another guy coming for the bag for you to go to Melrose. You know, stalkers things, nah. Maybe the guy likes you because that's a harsh word, and you call the cops on people like that. So it's obvious he's not somebody deemed to call the cops on. Maybe he's just a nice guy that facilitates a need, but you're not being honest with yourself, nor are you being honest with him. It's time to take him out of the make-believe relationship zone and put him in the friend zone and let him know this is all you ever be. I don't like you like me. I've been using you, and I apologize. I'm being honest with myself, and I have to be honest with you. And if that puts me on a park bench with some newspaper, I'm willing to do that because I'm going to stop using people, multiple people, to facilitate the lifestyle that I feel I should need. So don't get mad at me, Sheila. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.